Hi, I'm Bill Pollock, and welcome to the Learfield Lounge. I'm sports director of Missouri Net. I want to talk about the Cardinals and Royals and just what type of position they're in heading into the final month of the season. Cardinals looked impressive again. The offense last night came up big, a 9-1 win. They're getting some run support for Jaime Garcia finally. They now have a 4.5 game lead over the Pirates, 6.5 over the Cubs, 80 wins on the year. And then the Royals, they picked up a 3-2 win over the Baltimore Orioles. They've got 77 wins. They're in cruise control right now in terms of the lead they have in the Central Division. So who's in better shape? Honestly, I think it works out well for both teams right now where they're at. Let's look at the Cardinals. They jumped into first place back on April 29th, or actually even sooner than that, but April 29th was the last time that the Pirates or any team in that division was within 2 games. So the Cardinals, from April 29th on to this point, have never had a lead less than 2.5 games. So they've been in control. They've been winning the whole year. They've been having great success. I think it's helped them, and Mike Matheny admitted it after last night's win, that with the Pirates and now the surging Cubs right behind them, it's helped his team stay focused. And I like that because they've had to rely on some rookies and guys to step up, like Stephen Piscotty, Greg Garcia, Tommy Pham. These are guys that Mike Matheny might have to rely on in the postseason. And so the fact now that we're starting to get into September and they're being pushed a little bit by a couple of teams, it lets them handle that pressure. It's not the playoffs, but it's still pressure to try to close out this season well. I think if the Cardinals were in a situation now where the Royals are with a big lead and kind of in that coast mode, so to speak, I think it would be tough for those young Cardinal players to kind of ramp back up and feel the intensity of the playoffs. So even though the Cardinals have the best record in baseball, they're followed by 2 teams who are very close. And so this is going to help them in the final month of the season. Now, what you've got to watch for here is September 10th. That's the date where we're going to see where the Cardinals are and if they're going to be able to coast through this. Because after Arizona, they're going to go to San Francisco. They're going to play Washington, and they're going to play the Cubs. After that, we're going to see a lot of Cincinnati, a lot of Milwaukee. And I just don't think, as well as the Pirates and even the Cubs have been playing, I just don't think that they're going to be able to make up 4.5 or 6.5 games over the Cardinals. It's possible. Look, anything is possible. But I just think when you look at the way that these teams have kind of bounced back and forth and how the Cardinals have held a lead since July 2nd of anywhere between 2.5 to 6 games over the Pirates, not a lot of ground being made up. So I like the Cardinals. I think they're in a good position. I think they'll hit the playoffs running. But it's important for them to win the division. I like them in a longer series because you've got guys like Michael Wacha, Lance Lynn, Jaime Garcia, Carlos Martinez. This team is built on their starting pitching. And if you get into a 1-game, if the Cardinals let this lead slip and they fall into a 1-game wild card, if that offense goes cold, they're one and done. Pirates and Cubs certainly capable of beating them 1 game. In a series, though, I like the Cardinals. Now, for the Royals, they're in a great situation because I think they're hitting their stride at the right time. And I talked about coasting. I don't think the Royals are coasting. I think they're finding their groove right now. When you go back and look, they didn't take control of first place in the division until early June. So for the first 2 months of the season, they were battling with Detroit and the Twins. Now they've gone in the last 53 games from what was a 2-game lead up to double digits. An incredible run by the Royals. Now, this is going to benefit them because they're not going to have to worry about that 1-game wild card. They've been there. They've been in pressure situations. We've seen them win late in games. We saw them do that in the playoffs. This team, in any length of a series, is going to have the advantage over whoever they play just from the fact that they've got that playoff experience. So I like the fact that the Royals have that big lead, and they know going into October that they're going to get home field advantage and they're going to have a long series to work with teams, and they're going to need it because if the season ended today or the wild card standings stay as they are, you've got Texas and the Yankees in the wild card, and the Royals have losing records against them. They're just 3-4 against the Rangers, 2-4 against the Yankees. So they're going to need a little bit of a longer series to try to knock those teams out and advance to the second round of the playoffs. So I think both teams are in good shape. I like where they're at. I like the way they're playing, and I like the way that their division sets up as well as they head into the final month of the season. Keep our fingers crossed. We might have an I-70 series on our hands. It'll be 1985 all over again. I'm Bill Pollock of Missouri Net. Thanks for watching us in the Learfield Lounge, and we'll talk to you again soon.